All right, welcome back. This is MDawg, and we are on our Cozy Dog account. Um, yeah, still honestly not sure what, if anything, we're gonna do like over the next couple weeks with this account, but we might keep plugging along a little bit. I know one thing that's been requested is sort of talking about where do I go next with gear, those kinds of decisions. So that's one thing we could do. We'll see about that. I heard from somebody during the stream yesterday that basically they've just been doing really well on fishing in this area with, I think they were actually using a size 20 hook. Let's see if we can find one of those. Um, Basically, they were fishing here during the day for bleak and dace, and then I think going to Quarry for rough or something like that at night. Which I don't know if we'll do the night part of it, but I thought we could do a little bit of fishing. All right, so 20s are out of stock there. About here. We're getting to be pretty high level. Like, I don't mind. We don't want to go to 19, though. I think 19 might really affect. Believe it or not, I might have to buy these somewhere else. Okay, so we could get a very expensive hook. And that's fine. Whatever. I mean, it's not smart. I will say that, because with float fishing, you just never know when you're going to get broken off, right? So we're so close to level 22 here. So, if nothing else, I could talk about what I would do next if this was my main account in terms of gear. We can talk about that some, but I thought it might be fun to at least check out this float fishing spot. We'll kind of see how this goes. On my other computer, I do have my main account set up, just doing a little fishing over there for sort of rare, slower stuff. Oh, you can see the fish on the hook there. So that probably won't disrupt us very often. There's a little dace. All right. Off to a good start. So we've got it at 18 centimeter depth. And we're hoping we'll have a really nice bite rate. It's tempting to fish with more than one rod, but if the bite rate is good enough, it might be more efficient actually just to be more careful with not missing bites, hopefully. And just keep it on one, but we'll see how it goes. Might take me a minute to find the right approach here. I do like it such a shallow depth. When we're casting, we should be able to see the fish. All right, so this is, you never know, this spot could have slowed down. I'm going to cast it actually upriver. It'll come right by us. In fact, it might be too close. We'll see. This spot might have slowed down, but I did want to check it just to see. It's always hard when I lose momentum on a leveling series like this. When I was out of town for a week, I had pre-recorded a couple episodes, so it may not seem like it's been that long to you, but for me, it's been quite a while since I last fished on this account or thought about kind of what was coming up next. And frankly, there always comes a point when I get to a stage in the leveling process where I'm like, okay, we can still do like new level tips and tricks and highlight lower level spots and stuff on my main account, but at some point you just need to get back to your main account when you're doing these alt accounts. How many hours are we at now on this one? 55 hours? I mean, that's a lot of time. Alright, let's try casting farther out. Yeah, this is not a good enough bite rate. So we're gonna do almost full cast, still diagonal, but we're getting it a lot farther away from us. Let's see if this gets a much quicker bite. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, the spot could have been changing, could have changed a little bit from when the person in my stream yesterday was saying that for the past several days, this has just kind of been their go-to during the day spot, and they've been making a lot of silver. But the only way you would do that is if you have a much better bite rate than what we've got right now. Alright, let's get a nibble. Alright, so let's go straight out this time. There's a dace. Let's go straight out. We're just going to go a little farther out. So this is going to pretty much run over the exact same space that last cast did. And let's see if we get a bite at about the same spot. Whatever we do, we've just got to decrease the time between fish. Right now we're sitting at 3 fish and only one of them is a marker. Alright, once again, but it's even further down. Okay, so let's do this then. This is going to have to be really quick because we're going to be at the end of our line here so fast. This doesn't seem right to me. If you're only catching fish down that far, then this isn't the right spot, actually. Couldn't tell if it was about to have a nibble right before it pulled there. Probably not. Alright, let's, I don't know. Try a couple more casts here. But in terms of rough at Corey, I think it's basically the same spot. If you saw any of my fishing at Corey like a week or a week and a half ago, we did some rough fishing at night there. I think that spot still just has been really good. People have caught trophy rough, and overall just a pretty good bite rate over there at Corey for rough. Yeah, this is brutal. Again, a late bite. That's a nice bleak. We are at 18 centimeters, right? Okay. So let's keep it really close and just go right here, see if anything bites close to us. When it's that close to us, it can actually drift pretty far. It's kind of cool. So I don't know if you remember, but early in this leveling series, we did a little bit of fishing down here because the dace and the bleak were active, and that was pretty good. But you know, again, this is a little different spot than what that other person was talking about. And I mean, it's been weeks since I fished here. There's no reason for me to think this is the active spot right now, but you never know. We are getting a nibble. We'll see if this is a dace or a bleak. Either way is interesting. Okay, that is a big bleak. But again, we need to make this work for like be really worthwhile. Well, I tell you, one thing that's worth checking is the cafe. Okay, we do have 5 bleak order, which we're close to. That's really good silver. But to really make this worthwhile, you need like if you're really farming it at this point, we need really nice bite rate. There's a dace, but it's small. Maybe we should try an ultra thin line or something. By the way, 0 bites so far on my main account. That's a chub, or an eyed, yeah. Okay. Just can't quite find the marker dace. I mean, now we missed morning. That could be a part of it. There's a nice bleak. We've got a big hook for bleak, by the way, size 20. I would not normally fish for bleak on this, but because we're also trying to get some nice dace, I guess it's worth it. You don't need a big hook for bleak, though. I mean, or, you know, 24s, maybe 22s, but 24s, you'll trophy bleak all the time. I mean, there's no sense in going to 20s for bleak, but because dace are here, we're just trying to maybe get a little bit longer dace. So I was trying, and we'll see. I'm going to give it a few more minutes on my main account. I was trying this neutral and what was the other? Amino. I think it was actually amino and bloodworm for koi at copper. Now I knew it was going to be slow, but was just giving it a try to see if we hit an occasional koi on it. But so far it's nothing for me. I'm starting to think the person who posted this maybe did have like a really nice, but it could have been bycatch. I mean, it might not have been expected. Slowing down a little bit here, aren't we? It's that time of day. Oh, hey. About lulled me to sleep. All right, there's a bleak. Oh, I love it. Oh, you're kidding me. All right, so that was a little closer. I mean, it was farther back there, but oh, that wasn't that close. But anyway, hopefully that's close enough. Let's see. Ah, brutal. Yo, Alpha, nice king salmon, by the way. Holy cow. That is a fish and a half. We don't eventually get a fish here on this weird setup I've got going at Copper. I'm gonna have to switch it back to something like cream, but I don't think I'll do the normal cream corn. We'll try something a little bit bigger just to try to get some size. Here's a dace. It's actually our first marker dace. What are we at? 24,000 silver. I wish there was like a more interesting consideration, but there's just really not. For me, if this was like my main account, for some reason I was doing it over, probably the next thing I would get is Caliber HSVs. But that's because for me, like the two most fun things in this game for what's available for you at this level, the two most fun things for me would be carp fishing and trolling or spin fishing. So the Caliber HSV at least gets me in the mix as a reel for both of those categories. And I get that you can't use the Caliber HSV at Copper, so, you know, maybe you're thinking like, oh, should I? But I mean, Copper is a long way away still at this point in the game, so you'll just have to get different gear for Copper. In my opinion, the Caliber HSV is so inexpensive for what you can catch on it, both bottom fishing and spin fishing. It's still a pretty easy recommendation for me, at least. If you're going to try to get a 60 or a 6,000 reel that you can also use at Copper, you're either A, not going to be able to catch carp on it as efficiently at other places, or B, you're going to overspend. I mean, it's going to be so expensive you'll be saving forever. I don't know. So, I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at. I wish there was like a little more, and obviously other people take other options and might have other opinions, but for me, I think that would still be the path I would take. All right, I moved spots real quick. We're back at 7285 where we started on this little dock. Oh, it ticks me off. Now that it's getting a little bit later in the afternoon, I just wanted to see what this bite rate might look like. We were suffering through some pretty rough bite rate down there too. I don't know if that it would have been any worse if we had just stayed here. It's probably pretty similar actually. I was just really hoping to find, a really good bite rate. But so far, I have not been able to find it. Now, we have no points in float fishing in terms of skills. Not that I think that would make much of a difference in this situation. Oof, almost did not get there correctly. That's a nice dace too, and that's again farther down. Okay, forget that thing, man. We're gonna just do this. I don't know if it's far enough out, but let's just see. Let it drift right in front of us down here. Okay. Perfect. Sometimes it's a long wait. All right. Again, I don't think that, I mean, that may not be far enough out. Part of the thing from being at the end of that dock is that you're easily casting farther out. Okay. A little dace again. Unbelievable. Oh, come on. So far down there. That's just not this spot though. Again, this spot may have changed or, this other guy was doing something slightly different than this, but those bites were getting so far down, that's not really this spot. There's a little dace, I think. I don't think that would have been a marker, but it was a little dace. Okay. Let's hit that Bleak Cafe order. That's 17 easy silver. Um, 25. We're back up to 24.33, huh? Okay, so there's a little bit of float fishing for you. Again, I don't know where we're headed, if anywhere, with this. But I also didn't want to not do anything now that I'm back on vacation. So if I don't continue in this series, which again, I'm not saying either way, I just don't know. I've got a couple more weeks or a week and a half or so before I sort of go back to a more busier work life balance. So I still have a little bit of time just trying to figure out like how I want to spend that time. But if I don't continue this series, this same time will probably be spent more like specialized videos on my main account. So in some instances, those can be more helpful anyway. And but if I don't do another episode, I do hope this series has been helpful. I know I've heard from people on stream and in the comments here on YouTube, a lot of newer players who have sort of found this series, have either followed along or gotten ideas from it, and that's great. I mean, I don't have all the answers, obviously, and but I'm always encouraged when it's helpful. So, as always, I wish you the best, tight lines, and I will see you next time.